Well, I found out what our mystery wires were. They're for a steady running forward red, which I forget what that's called in CAL FIRE terms, but that's our two dead soldiers over there. So if I hook up the other wires, which I actually separated to go through each form of, let me see here. That freaking thing zaps really good every time I hook that up. So, where are we at? So out of all these wires, actually let me set the phone somewhere. Yes, I record everything on my phone. So deal with it. Now the fun part is finding where to put the phone so you can see all these different functions of old school bar. Let's see. I guess I could have planned this out a little better. Okay, so you're going to see a lot of everything else, but let's just see the bars. So basically I've got a whole bunch of different functions here. But yeah, I need to extend those other wires. Ooh, not a good ground there. Yeah, I did. This is going to need a little bit more. Okay, so now we've got just rear strobes. This is front strobes, which is technically like wigwags alleys. So of course, if we put these two together, which you won't be able to see backwards, but and actually we're looking at the back technically. That's front and rear strobes, and or left and right intersections, and like wigwag reds. So and then we've got the takedowns, which you can't see. You know, let me do this in the dark so you can actually see it better. I'll be able to go by real angles. So now you can see the steady red as the light bar is technically pointed the other direction. So this is one alley light, which I'm going to leave on so I can see stuff. This is strobes. This is takedowns, which you can't see. They're lighting up the ambulance over there, but those are like a headlight for the light bar. This is the other red lights that are on the opposite side of the steady red, so they're doing a pattern of flashing and steady. I'm sure there's programmable patterns. And there is strobes and like a multi-pattern forward or rearward facing ambers. So move these strobes out of the way because they keep wanting to touch you there. Okay, now we've got the technically the left alley light, which let's stick those together because they kind of give me a little bit of light to cheat with here. So now we've got both alley lights. Let's see what this thing is here. That's our red strobes. Now we've got a whole other set of lights, which are actually kind of cool now, is that one there is a like a rotator type. It flashes the takedowns, but it flashes them in a manner that makes it look like a rotator, which is actually kind of cool. So, let's see. Yeah, that's like a simulated rotator, which again you can't see because it's pointed towards the back. But we've got arrow stick functions on those. Let's see what that one was. I keep getting out. These other wires are short, so bear with me. Well, I thought I could do this in dark. Let's see here. We're gonna have to separate a couple of wires here. So let's try this again. Well, I guess I'm pulling a dud on that. You got a quicker flash on that. Oh, look at that. I've never seen strobes do that. They speed up and slow down. That's pretty wicked. So, let's see here. Okay, there's our takedown. I'm going to start over again because I got like literally about a handful of wires. Okay, this is a regular pattern for rearward facing caution lights. They're doing their own thing. And we got LEDs forward. I'm missing something here. I've got one that gives me a little flash here. You know what? Let's see what that is on the other side. So here we've got, okay, so that's just like a slow, it's kind of simulating a rotator, the way it's lighting up, because it does have a backlight to it, and then it's flashing the bulbs brighter, so they are actually lit. But yeah, there's our two lights that I assumed weren't working, and I just can't. I had some arrow stick function, which is technically called a traffic advisor, and I'm just not seeing it. So let's try this with the lights on. Let's see. I'll give you a little entertainment from the other light, one of the other light bars for a minute, because Otherwise it's gonna get boring. Oh, that's not the high one. Let's see here. That's the brightest one. Probably because it's cleaner. So, strobes. Oh, I remember now. That's strobes. Well, I had an arrow stick function that was giving me a left-right before. Oh, there we go. So this is going from center out. And I should have a left-right here. Yeah, there's left to right, or right to left. And then this should be the other way. So yeah, so I'm not gonna mess with any more of those, but that gives us full functions of that light bar. So the next is to separate the functions of the, let's see, get rid of all these, off. And then, so now all we have is these lights here, which this is probably hooked up to some type of individual switch, which is fine. And then, so my next plan of action is this one. This here is a Sound Off 5000. It's an ETL. Well, the fun part about this is it actually has a separate brain. This is kind of like the one I sent to Cletus McFarland for Neighbor out in Florida, which failed for some reason, and I think it was because the brain maybe got some static. Come on, focus. So anyways, this is just like a phone cord here. Let's see if I can get this. That's not going to cooperate. Anyways, this is like a phone cord. So this goes into like an actual brain that tells the rest of it what to do. I do have this light bar energized, but there's a bunch of warnings on here about taking this cover off, but it's not really a big deal. I'm basically already have it energized, and I'm going to see if under this cover there might be some override switches somewhere. And it's weird how heavy LED light bars are, and a lot of people don't realize that they're a lot heavier. Yeah, the technology is more state-of-the-art, we'll say, and you'd think something that's newer should be lighter and more compact. Well, it kind of is, because usually there's a bunch of rotators and stuff inside one of these bars, whereas this just has this plate that goes over the top, which, 4 screws completely pull this plate off, and this plate is actually a heat sink. So if you run this light for too long without this cover on it, it's like running an amplifier in a car without a heat sink. So each one of these lights has a cast housing on it to dissipate heat. And if you notice, this actually touches. There's a little bit of like, it's kind of like a thermal mastic. What it is, it transfers the heat from these units. I don't want to call it a ballast, but each one of these units has really large LEDs in it. And this light bar probably pulls quite a bit of amperage just because of all the lights that are in it. There looks to be 3 large light emitting diodes in each one of these sections. So you figure 3, 6, 9, 12. I'm not going to count because I'm about as bad at counting as I am spelling. So, but these are actually an LED too. So everything on this light is LED. Looks like a couple of these sections have either been replaced or these are a different style, because I notice this one here has a different plug, this one has a different plug. So I don't know exactly what the significance of those are, except they look newer and they have a different plug. So I'm going to pull all this off and see if there's any kind of override so I can test it. If not, I'm not all that concerned about, I mean, I don't want to waste it, but I might look up something on the internet to see if I can just jump the connections on the phone cord and see if all this is if it's designating different function. Gosh, wire's long. If it's just designating different functions with this little tiny wires, then we'll just drop it. And it doesn't hurt anything, then we'll go ahead and run it off of that. And then the next thing I got to go through, which is the part I anticipated, which is kind of funny because the light bars I actually wanted to get initially were basically these MX 9000s or 7000s. MX 7000s. So they all have good parts in them, mainly the arrow sticks, and I wanted blue and amber activation for the most part, and then I wanted maybe 2 complete blue and red light bars for the exhibition cars, 2 Mad Max cars. The reds I can use on other stuff, and they have traffic advisors in them. And this one, if you look kind of close, you can see they have some LED. I don't know if I can pop these off real. No, I'll have to use a tool. Well, why not? I'm already here. And I want to see what these look like anyway. So these are not LED bars, but I did notice when I was there that looking at them, I didn't see this in the pictures on the website, but when I got there, I just was like, huh, those look like LEDs in there. These are going to be kind of a pain. So, and these little clips are gold. There's not one clip missing on these light bars. There is one, I lied, but I found it. And out of all the light bars, that's not a big deal. So, and these always like to stick a little bit. So, and all I'm trying to do is, even for my curiosity, I want to see what these light bars look like inside, because they actually have, man, these haven't been opened in a while. I've got a feeling I'm going to pull some seal with these. So it's fun doing this with one hand. Come on. Wow, the seals are really good on these. I don't think I'm missing anything. Just be nice. Oh, okay. So yeah, they've got actually 1, 2, 3, looks like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 of these. I don't know if these are upgrades or this is just what they did with these light bars, but a lot of components that would normally be mechanical. Let's see here. Oh, it's got even more. Come on, you little sucker. You're already broken. You're not going to fight me. Okay, so it says right here, these are ambers. So here's your intersections, which actually this little motor here will spin and it'll just flop these back and forth. They'll do a sweep like that. These are a rotator, which has just a stationary bulb and a plastic rotating housing. And I can tell these are newer because this is actually usually metal. So, got a little circuit board there. We've got, this says it's an amber, so this is probably just a single rear. No, this would be forward face. So there's a forward facing amber LED module. This is more than likely red. Already here. This thing must have gotten hot either from the sun or something. I'm not going to be able to make that go in there without a little bit of thought and effort. So let's pull the center off and see what, just for the heck of it,